just making a point of stuff. And then
Tonight, the Bill Clinton factor. He tries to explain Hillary's statements about her Bosnia trip, but only makes things worse.
And some of them, when they're 60, they'll forget something when they're tired at 11 o'clock at night, too.
Now, she tells him to zip it. I'm Harry Smith. Also tonight, the capture south of the border. After months on the lam, a Marine wanted for murdering a pregnant colleague is finally caught, but a deal with Mexico spares his life. Plus, why are they throwing away perfectly good medicine when so many struggling patients could use it? Because the federal government tells them to. And Assignment America, trying to teach some old cats new tricks.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening. Katie is on assignment. When Hillary Clinton launched her campaign for the Democratic nomination, many assumed her biggest asset would be her husband, the former president. Now some wonder if Bill Clinton has become her biggest liability. Just as Senator Clinton's Bosnia story was slipping from the headlines, he brought it back again. Chief White House correspondent Jim Axelrod has more.
She started talking about Bosnia, and she misstated the circumstances under which she landed in Bosnia.
It's the last topic the Clinton campaign wants to talk about right now.
And you would have thought, that she'd robbed a bank the way they all carried on about this.
But there was Bill Clinton yesterday in Indiana, raising his wife's trip to Bosnia in 1996. Last month on St. Patrick's Day, she spoke about it.
I remember landing under sniper fire.
A week after she said that, CBS News ran video disproving it. The next day, Hillary Clinton admitted she misspoke.
She took a terrible beating in the press for a few days because she was exhausted at 11 o'clock at night, and she started talking about Bosnia, and she misstated the circumstances under which she landed in Bosnia. Did y'all see all that?
Fact is, she didn't talk about it, exhausted at 11 o'clock at night, but at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Good morning.
After a day off. But even if all that was true, Bill Clinton might have thought twice about his line of defense.
And some of them, when they're 60, they'll forget something when they're tired at 11 o'clock at night, too.
It's 3 a.m.
After all,
there's a phone in the White House, and it's ringing.
Hillary Clinton's best-known ad this campaign has been about her ability to think straight in the middle of the night.
Shame on you.
Bill Clinton's outbursts have overshadowed his wife at several key points this campaign and knocked her off message.
Don't be accusatory with me.
Which is why those Clinton supporters who've been wishing someone would muzzle him would like what Bill Clinton says his wife told him.
Hillary called me and said, "You don't remember this? You weren't there. Let me handle it." And I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Barack Obama said nothing about all this today, observing a cardinal rule of politics. Never kick your opponents when your opponents are already kicking themselves.
Jim Axelrod in Washington this evening. Thank you very much. Bob Schieffer is our chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation. Bob, none of this is escaping attention in Washington, I bet.
Oh, my heavens. Democrats have just been dumbfounded by this. I can't find a single Democrat who thought this was a good idea. Just listen to what the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, said when I asked her about it today.
I can't for the life of me figure out why the president would have said it, except he may have been having a late night adult moment. But let's leave it at that.
A late night adult moment. She tried to brush it off with a laugh, but when I talked to one of the leading Democratic strategists today and told him what the speaker said, he said, this is a sign that the Clinton campaign may be fading, at least in the minds of some top Democrats. As he put it, she wouldn't have said that if Hillary Clinton were the front runner right now.
And in real life, especially with this election coming up in Pennsylvania, and the margin between her and Barack Obama getting so small, this can't be good news for her.
Oh, I just think it's terrible news. I mean, if you're just looking around for somebody to say, what can I do here to kind of tangle things up? I don't think you could do better than what Bill Clinton did. This is just a real mess.
All right, Bob Schieffer. You can see Bob's complete interview with Speaker Pelosi this Sunday on Face the Nation on this CBS station. Now to the capture in Mexico of a U.S. Marine wanted for murdering another Marine who was pregnant. When Corporal Cesar Lorian was nabbed by police, it capped a manhunt that lasted 3 months. Today, as Lorian appeared before the cameras, the victim's mother said all she wants is justice. More now from Jeff Glor.
Investigators searching for murder suspect Cesar Lorian narrowed their focus in the past few weeks after seizing a computer from his sister-in-law. Prosecutors say the fugitive Marine had been communicating with his wife via the website MySpace, and that Lorian actually wanted to come back to the U.S.
Cesar Lorian repeatedly asked for resources from family members.
He will not be returning on his own terms after Mexican police arrested him in the small town of Tacambaro, 150 miles west of Mexico City, 1,800 miles away from where he was stationed, Camp Lejeune. Lorian, bearded, slimmed down, and shackled, looks a lot different than the clean-shaven, robust Marine who fled the country 3 months ago. With only 10 pesos, or $1 in his pocket, he'd been sleeping in fields and scavenging for fruit, according to Mexican authorities. Lorian went on the lam one day before the body of his fellow Marine, Maria Lauterbach, 20 years old and 8 months pregnant, was found in his backyard, her body badly burned and buried in a shallow grave. Lauterbach had accused the married Lorian of rape last year. A protection order was in place, and the case was pending when she was killed. Now the question is, when will he face trial? Born in Mexico, he's a dual citizen.
Depending on whether or not Cesar Lorian waives extradition, this process could take a few days or up to a couple years.
Prosecutors in North Carolina also had to agree not to seek the death penalty before Mexico even considered sending him back. Even though authorities say Lorian's wife had been communicating with him, she is still considered a cooperating witness in the case, and they say she will not be charged with a crime.
Harry? Jeff Glor, thanks. On the CBS News Money Watch, stocks took a nosedive today after GE announced its first quarter profits dropped by 6%. The Dow fell by more than 256 points, while the Nasdaq dropped 61. And another airline is having money trouble. Frontier Airlines filed for bankruptcy today, but vowed to keep flying. Frontier is based in Denver and flies to more than 60 cities. It is the fourth airline to file for bankruptcy in the past 3 weeks. Meanwhile, American Airlines passengers had another day of pain. American canceled another 595 flights today. That's more than 3,000 for the week. And it says about 200 flights will be canceled tomorrow, with normal service expected on Sunday. As Nancy Cordes reports, some critics say the government is really to blame for all of this.
Endless lines, thousands of cancellations, and 250,000 people stranded, all in the name of safety.
You've got a wiring bundle running next to a fuel tank with a potential for sparks. We all have seen back into the TWA 800 incident what can happen when you mix sparks and jet fuel.
But some of the nation's top aviation experts say the problem that grounded a third of American Airlines jets had more to do with politics than safety.
Well, you did not need to ground an entire fleet. These things could have been done in overnight inspections.
At issue was not whether American had failed to tie off the wiring in the wheel wells of its MD-80s, as the FAA ordered back in 2006. No, what grounded all 300 of American's MD-80s was the airline's failure to tie off the wires at precisely 1-inch intervals. Some were 1.25 inches, some 1.5 inches.
They will use a micrometer and make sure that the spacing is 1 inch. Has that enhanced safety in any way? No way at all.
The airline claims it asked for a few extra days to make the fixes, so it wouldn't have to cancel all those flights. But the FAA says it received no such request, adding that some of the clamps were installed backwards, which could result in chafing. While the safety risk is low, it said, the consequences are high.
We did not find any chafing of wires in any aircraft. So we believe that the aircraft were always operated safely.
Congress pushed the FAA to get tougher after inspections lapses at Southwest Airlines came to light last month. This week, that get tough approach cost American Airlines an estimated $40 to $50 million, Harry, not to mention inconveniencing all those tens of thousands of passengers.
Nancy Cordes at LaGuardia tonight. Thanks. One traveler who hasn't been grounded, or that has not been grounded, the Olympic torch. Its international relay continued in Argentina today with massive security as the runners carried the torch through the streets of Buenos Aires. Chinese supporters turned out to cheer it on, but so did protesters opposing China's human rights record in Tibet. The Dalai Lama did not mention the Chinese crackdown in Tibet when he appeared in Seattle today. The exiled spiritual leader is hosting a 5-day conference on compassion. China has accused the Dalai Lama of provoking the Tibet uprisings. In Iraq today, a top aide to the radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr was murdered while returning home from Friday prayers in Najaf. 5,000 mourners attended his funeral. The gunmen were likely from a rival Shiite group, though al-Sadr accused the U.S. of being behind it. Meanwhile, the Pentagon released footage of an American attack on insurgents in Baghdad's Sadr city. An unmanned Predator drone fired a Hellfire missile, killing 6 militants who were carrying mortars. There's more CBS News ahead, including bullying in cyberspace. The teens behind this video are facing criminal charges. But what should be done about others who do this? But up next, brand new prescription medicine wasted. You'll be amazed when you find out where it's going and why. It's no secret that Americans spend a fortune on prescription drugs. Last year, more than $286 billion, about $943 for every man, woman, and child. And a recent survey said 4 out of 10 Americans have trouble paying for the drugs they need, which makes our next story so outrageous. Every day, perfectly good medicine is being thrown out. Cheryl Atkinson follows the money to an unexpected place.
It's a ritual at nursing homes across the country that few outsiders ever witness. Brand new medicine left over from patients whose prescriptions changed or who were discharged or passed away.
This is Zocor.
Zocor, that's a cholesterol drug.
Correct.
Methodically punched out of unopened blister packs and unbelievably flushed down the toilet. At St. Anthony's nursing home in New Orleans, the deed is done by a former ER nurse who was stunned when she first saw so many drugs going down the drain.
I'd see people come into the emergency room who were so ill because they hadn't been able to afford their medicine. And here I was flushing what they needed down the toilet.
Federal law has long required nursing homes to destroy leftover drugs to protect against misuse. Turns out the simplest way to get rid of them is flushing, and it's been common practice as long as pharmacist Jack Sassone can remember.
We've got policymakers that make these policies up for us, and we have to follow.
Nobody knows just how much perfectly good medicine is being flushed at nursing homes nationwide, but one study puts the estimate as high as $378 million worth a year. And because most older Americans are covered by government prescription drug plans, you're paying for all that waste. At another nursing home we agreed not to identify, a nurse is also busy punching pills. Each card represents a wasted prescription, $100 worth of an Alzheimer's drug, a $260 prescription for a memory medicine, $300 worth of blood thinner. The stash also includes unopened syringes full of medicine to prevent blood clots. This box of 10 costs more than $1,000, but won't be helping anybody. The FDA, which regulates drug disposal, has decided against creating a national program to donate the drugs to the poor, and instead leaves it up to the states. Without federal direction, they haven't figured out how to do it effectively on a large scale. Back at St. Anthony's, the owner says he'd rather see the medicine go to those who can't afford it, but there's no place in New Orleans that takes it. So the ritual continues. Even after all the pill punching we saw, there's more.
You'll notice, if you can see, I have 4 boxes.
Boxes of valuable pills and your tax dollars flushed. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, New Orleans.
Major League Baseball players have a new drug policy. Team owners and the Players Union agreed today to test players more often for steroids and other drugs. 4 months ago, the Mitchell report named 89 past and present major leaguers suspected of using performance-enhancing drugs. Under today's agreement, none of them will be punished. Coming up, this violent video was shocking, but there are a lot more of them out there. The growing concern over cyberbullying. Next. An update now on the largest child abuse case ever in Texas. Police are studying documents seized from a polygamous sect compound, including birth and marriage records. Also discovered was a pregnancy test kit. One thing that is hindering the investigation, many of the 416 children in custody will not tell authorities who their parents are. In Florida, a judge today ordered the teenagers accused of a notorious videotape attack be held on bond, $30,000 each. This as concern and outrage grew over this type of violent video that's cropping up on the internet more and more. More from our science and technology correspondent, Daniel Sieber.
The video is shocking and brutal. 6 girls, the youngest 14 years old, beating another girl aged 16, while 2 boys stand guard outside. Allegedly so the assault could be posted on the internet video site YouTube.
You have been charged.
In a Florida courtroom today, 7 of the 8 face charges as adults for misdemeanor battery and kidnapping, punishable by life in prison. 3 also face a felony charge of witness tampering. The parents of the victims spoke with the CBS Early Show this week about their disgust.
Well, I think there ought to be laws enacted and legislation put in place to protect our children from the internet. We can't be with our children 24 hours a day.
The violent video is sparking a debate within the online teen community.
I'm so ashamed to be part of this generation and part of these, be put in the same category with these people.
And this is not an isolated incident. Popular websites like MySpace and YouTube are often used by teens as part of a new phenomenon known as cyberbullying. A recent Pew Internet survey found that 1 in 3 online teens have experienced some form of cyberbullying, with girls more likely to become victims.
Young people harassing and bullying each other has been going on since the beginning of time. But the fact that it can now be distributed internationally via the internet is one more incentive.
While the recent beating in Florida was never actually posted on YouTube, a search on that site reveals multiple videos of young girls fighting each other. Many of them have been up there for several months or longer. In a statement to CBS, YouTube says inappropriate content can be removed within minutes if it violates guidelines. But it's pretty much up to the users to police the site and reject such violent behavior. Daniel Sieberg, CBS News, New York.
Coming up next, a sport for cats that will give you pause. Scientists think they may have solved the mystery of why so many bees are dying. Air pollution. A study from the University of Virginia blames cars and power plants for destroying the fragrance of flowers, making it harder for bees to find food and reproduce. And finally tonight, everyone knows you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But what about a cat? Well, some people are trying, as Steve Hartman shows us in tonight's Assignment America.
If you take the speed and thrill of dog agility and remove the speed and the thrill and the dogs, this is what you're left with.
He enjoys life, so that's why I think he'd love agility.
The seemingly impossible, yet increasingly popular sport of cat agility.
She's a little nervous right now. I can feel her shaking.
Competitions are now popping up at cat shows around the country. Here's how it works. A contestant's time starts when their cat touches the first step on the stairs. Assuming that ever happens, the cat must then complete a series of obstacles, which of course it has no inherent desire to do.
Dogs, you can tell them what to do. Cats, you kind of have to persuade them to do things. Good boy, you're ready for another one.
Dorianne Nasson helped launch this sport back in 2003.
See, all it takes is a toy to do it.
Her cat Chester can do all 10 obstacles.
The trick is stay ahead of the cat.
In less than 30 seconds.
That was a good run.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Get it, Chester. There we go.
Other cats will run the course flawlessly one day and then just refuse to cooperate the next. It happens often enough and long enough to make this a very poor spectator sport.
They're allowed 3 runs.
But the woman who helped pioneer cat agility says this isn't about entertaining spectators. Dorianne says cat shows began offering agility, largely to help cat show people get off their tails.
Tootsie! The owners take better care of their cats than themselves. In an affectionate way, I'm saying this. Come on.
Apparently some had become quite Garfield-esque.
Come on. It's designed for exercising both the cat and the exhibitor.
You better come back here.
And in that sense, this sport is a win-win, even if the competitors refuse to play. Steve Hartman, CBS News, Middletown, New York.
And that's the CBS Evening News. I'm Harry Smith. Katie will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.